Good morning, traders. Midweek, first week of a new month, and each day has a characteristic. Each day has a characteristic. Wednesday, the day that we're on now in New York, it's the midpoint of the week. It's day 3 of the week of a day 3 template. So, day 1, Monday, day 2, day 3, Wednesday. Okay. The first opportunity for a weekly cycle parabolic move. Now, this could be in line with the trend. So, for instance, in gold, Monday we've gone up, we put in the first green day. Tuesday we carried on up. So, day 1, day 2, day 3. At the moment in gold, we're coiling. We'll look at it in a minute. And it could go parabolic long, or it could come parabolic short. That's the thesis for a day 3 of a day 3 cycle, either a trend trade or a reversal trade. Okay. And you look for certain setups to help you with your conviction as to whether it's going to be a trend trade or a reversal trade. So with a reversal trade, we'll get into it in a minute. If you look for 3 days of breakout, so I need the chart really to go through this. I mean, maybe I can, let's see if I do this. No, I'll do it in a minute. In fact, what I'll do, I'm going to pause this video and we'll start again. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back and I've managed to get some images onto the chart. So we were talking about day 3 being Wednesday. And what we're doing is we're looking for certain setups on the day. So let's just look at the chart on gold, and we'll use gold as an example. Okay. So as you can see, we are day 3 of the week. Day 1, Monday, day 2, Tuesday, day 3. And we're in anticipation of either a parabolic move in line with the trend or a reversal, a parabolic reversal, counter trend. Okay. Those are the two trades that I'm looking for. Those are the two scenarios. It's not to say that it can't just coil. It absolutely could do. But typically, I mean, if you were to go over your charts and check out the weekly template, day 1, day 2, day 3, have a look at what happens on a Wednesday. Okay? If anyone that's interested in this style of trading where I use levels, timings, behavior of price, and the weekly cycle, to name a few of the things that I use. Okay. Now, when we talk about how is the day set up, so looking for, say, 3 days, 3 sessions as a 33 trade setup, what does that mean? So for that to set up, what I'm looking for is a continuation from London to the upside. This is what this would be. And this would give us London as a session that broke out. So one breakout session. And then because these sessions here are inside sessions, we don't count those in our count. Okay. We ignore those and we simply go back to the previous session, which was London. So that would be all one session like this, and it would be a green session. And this here, let's, for instance, say London rallies and makes a high. And it does that before 9 a.m. because that will be the start of the New York session. And then we go back. So we've got session 1, sessions, because they're inside sessions, we just take the breakout, which was London yesterday. So session 1, session 2. Again, Asia was an inside session, so we just block that off as New York breakout, included in the New York breakout, session 3. So we've got 1, that's green. Let's make it white just so it stands out. 1 session, 2 sessions. I know there are more than one session in all of that box, but I've explained why, because they were inside session and session 2. So you've got 3 breakouts there, and what you can expect is a reversal, because you've got all of these traders that are long. So let's have a look at that here. Unlock that, and there we go. So these are the types of shorts that you can anticipate. Okay, so let's just look at the black one there. I don't want to overcomplicate things at the moment. So you've got 3 sessions of rise, parabolic reversal. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Okay, and here we have it again on this chart again. These are examples of what you can expect to see on the day. This is Asia, London, New York. Asia, London, New York, parabolic reversal. Okay. Now, if you get that scenario on the back of 3 days of rise, so what have we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3. So if we broke yesterday's highs, okay, this would be Monday breaking Friday's highs, Tuesday breaking Monday's highs, and then Wednesday, the day that we're on, making a new high. So you've got 1, 2, 3. All right. So that is 3 days and 3 sessions of rise for a 33 trade. It's just putting 3 and 3 together, 33. It's just terminology for the type of. I'm a Stacey Burke trader, by the way. So this is stuff that's come from his playbook, as well as amalgamating with others, but we'll just keep it simple for now. You can look at Stacey Burke Trading if you want further insights to this sort of approach. Okay, so that's one example. You can look for 3 peaks up or down after hitting a level. Okay, so here we've got a situation whereby, for instance, let's have a look. 1. So there's the previous day high. London hit it. Then you've got Asia hitting it. And then you've got New York hitting it. And boom, parabolic sell-off. So let's have a look at the current state of play. If I delete all drawings, I presume the maps, I don't know if these are going to stay on here. Let's just get rid of it and see what happens. I'll pause the video. Okay, got rid of everything. Fine. So let's just look at the situation. So far, what we've got is a scenario where Asia, so we don't have to use the high of the day. We can also use the closing price as a level. So there's the high of the day. What about the closing price? So why don't we use that as a level, that blue line there. Let's draw it across. That's where the price closed yesterday. Let's make this level blue. Okay, so that's the closing price. So Asia's hit it, right? Asia's been hitting it. London's been hitting it. And maybe in New York at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m., the new session box, the new 8-hour candle. So Asia is an eight-hour candle. London is an 8-hour candle. There's the box so far in London. And at 9 a.m., we're going to have a new candle, a new box, a new 8-hour candle opening. And then if London is working that high as well and subsequently wants to sell off, then that could be a parabolic move to the downside, potentially. Okay? So these are the sorts of things that I'm always on the lookout for. How is the day set up? And on a Wednesday, as I said, we can either be looking for parabolic reversal trades or parabolic trend trades. It's the midpoint of the week. If we were to get a parabolic trade in line with the trend, then what does that say for Thursday? Well, Thursday is the back end of the week. Okay, that's the front end of the week. Wednesday, the middle end of the week. And Thursday, the back end of the week, which could be a complete reversal into Friday of the entire week. Doesn't have to be, but these are the sorts of things that I'm looking for. And it depends on how the day is set up to help you with your thesis as to what might occur. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples. So, for instance, last week we had a week that just continued with the trend, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be something that is so basic as that. Of course not. I mean, if it was like that all of the time, I mean, everyone would be millionaires and we'd know what to do. You just always sell the high on a Wednesday, wouldn't you? And put your stop up here and you'd be making fortunes all the time. Doesn't work like that. But it depends on the template of the month and the weeks and the prior looking left, right? To train your eyes to look left to help you anticipate what type of template that you're in overall. Okay, so in this template here, it's no wonder that this completely collapsed because you've got so many weeks of rise, right, that you'd anticipate that scenario. Okay, so the more weeks of rise, the more likelihood you're going to have a parabolic week at some point. And what better time to have it, having put in a high, a retest of the high of the month, and then the breakdown of, let's say, Friday's coil, final part of the coil, so peak formation high over here, and then this here all being a coil. And then when you break down that coil, then there's no wonder, having put in a high for the month, that it breaks down and stays broken down, and you get a parabolic week on the back of it. But in this type of template, where we've had that parabolic week, then it wouldn't be a surprise if we respect the breakout level, which is over here. Okay, that's where the market broke down last week, below that low from Friday. So it wouldn't be surprised if we respect that breakout level and we get the 1, 2, 3 pullback and reversal in line with that red week to give us that template. Okay, so just something to bear in mind as we look at these charts. Midpoint of the week, what type of template are we in? What are we expecting to see? Now, with gold, interesting, I can't speak, interesting enough, Interestingly enough, we've taken out the stops from what do you call that? Asia, as well as New York. We've just done that on the back of data. So it's been a coil into the ADP data. And by the way, we've got more data coming out later on, so be warned. I don't really want to be holding on to anything into data. We've got the global composite and services coming up in an hour's time. So what time is it now? We're coming up to 9 o'clock. So 10 o'clock New York. That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Bear with me. You'd think I'd know all this off by heart by now, but I always have to look at the calendar. So in an hour's time, we have okay, so 9:45, that would be, I suppose, 9:45 New York. We'll have the composite data services, and then we'll have a whole slew of data coming out at 10 and 10:30. ISM services. Okay. So in any case, that's stuff to be cautious of. So we've taken out the stops then of this here. What does that mean? Well, if we're in a template where we're anticipating perhaps day one, day two, day three, coil reversal in line with the breakout area from last week, or 2 weeks, over the last 2 weeks, this sort of breakdown area. Then, because we've taken out the stops to the downside, then perhaps, just perhaps, we're coming up for the stops on the other side. So let's make that clearer. So as you can see, we've got space between yesterday's highs and the New York session. So that means there's potentially stops within that gap whereby traders have sold the high, which I know some of us did yesterday. We sold that high, and those that are holding on to that in hope that we are actually going to reverse into all of this length, then their stops could be above those highs. Okay, I mean, something's protecting the price as it comes up, right? And then you've got stops above, well, we've taken the stops now above Asia. We've taken those stops there already. We did that today in London. So perhaps because of that, we've come down to the other side. And now that we've taken the other side of this stops, perhaps we're coming up, is what I'm trying to get at. So perhaps we're coming up now to take those stops. We'll find resistance in yesterday's highs, and that could be the catalyst for the trade to the downside. And that would complete our 33 trade setup to go short, parabolic short. It could happen on Wednesday. It could all happen today. Or it could happen on Thursday. Or it might just coil between now and Thursday and happen on Friday, perhaps. Okay, so let's see how we get on. We've got Monday's highs as a current level of support. This is a level of potential support. If we get below there, however, if we get below that level, that would be signifying that the market might already want to be imploding to the downside. Okay, the stops above the Asian highs has been enough to fuel the move lower. But I would be cautious in chasing that move lower because we've only really had a couple of days of rise. I don't know if there's enough fuel in this market to really want to implode all the way into last week's lows and stops below, and then to take out the monthly breakout level. Okay, perhaps it wants to come up further into that before we really come lower. But we do have a first red week, so it may not be of much surprise if it does in fact want to implode in line with the selling pressure, considering we've already come up into the break-even traders, where traders were trapped going long at the highs of last month. Market pulled away from them sharply. Oh no, they're under a lot of water. They're relieved that the price has come back and given them some kind of a reduced drawdown, if not at break even, if they're buying from out of the break here and so forth. And then the offers have absorbed the bids. I'm not sure that they have at this point, though, however, but who knows? Potentially, you don't know who's in the market doing what at any point. And then perhaps this is going to fall in line with that first red week, and that's enough of a coil already. And in that respect, we start to anticipate a range expansion of the coil downside into the point of control from Monday, aligning with a 100% range expansion of the coil as a first target, perhaps. And that's our template parabolic move playing out on a Wednesday, midweek Wednesday parabolic sell-off reversal, albeit in my mind perhaps potentially premature. What I think this might be is a trap, only to come back up and take the stops from Friday's highs, in fact, if not just Friday's New York session, and then the real move coming in later in the week, potentially. Data can often be two-way. This is why I don't trade the data. This could easily be a trap, only to come up, and it might even fuel a break of the highs of yesterday. And then we get the real move to the downside once we've got longs trapped higher up for a move lower later in the week. So perhaps we get the parabolic continuation trade today. So again, it all depends on how the day sets up and what trade setup are you hunting. For instance, here is a map for what I'd be looking for if I wanted to be going long. All right, so if we come down to, let's have a look now. So if we're in, so for instance, this is not something that I'd be entertaining because it's not really something that is set up for me. We've got Asia in a box. We've taken the highs. There's nothing there. There's nothing there that resembles one of my go-to trade setups for a long. Okay, so due to this coil, this is not a market that I want to be trading potentially. Okay, so just to give you an insight there. Okay, so I hope that would be helpful in some education around Wednesday, day 3. What it is that what it is that I'm seeking to do each day is looking for what kind of setup do I have. How is the day set up? Where am I with it? Where am I on the week? Am I in midweek? Am I at the start of the week? So, for instance, on Tuesday was an easy trade for London traders. I said Friday closing, first green week, start of the month, expect a continuation on Tuesday. And that's exactly what we got. So once you've got that kind of conviction in your armory, then you just need the setup to want to take the trade. Okay. So for me today, I'd need, instead of looking for reversal trades to the upside, I need to be looking for continuation trades to the upside. So what do they look like? If I move over this PDF, this would be my go-to continuation. So if I'm coming up, right, so I would be looking for something like this to take it long, or this is more like what we're looking at today, right, for the continuation of parabolic session trade. So depending on how um, the London session concludes, so we've come down, putting in a low below the Asian low, as you can see. So that's somewhat similar. And then we could be coming back up above the Asian low for a continuation to the upside. So if we close back inside of the Asian low, then perhaps we'll get a parabolic move out of the New York Open, which is what we're coming into now. Okay. And then, so we've come down, perhaps we'll come back up, and we'll base ourselves again above the highs from Tuesday for a parabolic continuation trade. Okay, so that's a long enough video to keep you going, but this is the basis for my analysis, and I'll be producing a watch list shortly with a view for looking at potential setups from 10:15, 10:30 onwards. I want to get the ISM data out of the way before doing anything.